Hello. Hi, everyone. This is Jurgita Caballero. I'm a certified holistic health coach. I coach people how to live their way into health and away from disease by making sustainable food and lifestyle choices that work for their unique body. And today we have with us Holli Basson. Holli is going to be talking about allergies and food sensitivities. Welcome, Holli. How are you today?
Thank you, Jurgita. Thank you so much. I'm well. I want to tell you a little bit about myself as well. Professionally, I have an MBA in human resources, but personally, I have two daughters. One is 14, the other one is 16. And soon after the 16-year-old was born, we discovered she had life-threatening food allergies. So I spent the first 10 years of her life trying to keep her safe from the things she was allergic to. And then in April of 2013, I started a business called Your Food Allergy Coach, and I was doing workshops for parents on food allergy etiquette. I was also doing workshops in preschools and religious schools on what to do in an emergency situation and how to keep kids safe in the classroom. But then in January of 2014, we started working with the nutrition and health coach who actually devised a way to reverse my daughter's allergies through desensitization. And what we did was we cleaned out the bucket. In other words, we cleaned out her environmental allergies in order to start working on her food allergies. And during this time, I went to the integrative nutrition program, which I got certified in. And then I wrote a book on allergies. I don't know if you can see this, from anaphylaxis to buttercream. And then I started taking classes at the School of Applied Functional Medicine, which is where I met Jurgita. So I am a functional medicine health coach, and I work with clients to help them improve their lifestyle, improve their diet, and so that they can reverse the root cause of disease. And I also use education, nutrition, and holistic intervention. So Jurgita asked me to speak with you today about allergies because not only do I have experience with it personally, but I also work with clients who have allergies and help them improve their lives.
Holli, may I ask you, so what is the difference between food allergies and environmental allergies? Are they all a cause of the same thing, or it's completely different?
We only have one immune system, but there are different aspects of the immune system. And I'd like to refer to it as the mighty, mighty immune system. Every plant or animal has an innate immune system. So that's just like the first 3 or 4 days when we know we're not feeling well and our immune system just kicking in and just taking care. But we have a more complex immune system called the adaptive immune system. And then that's when the immune system specifically addresses a particular threat. Like a particular virus that it's seen before, or it brings in armies to help it. But then there's a more complicated immune system than that called the humoral immune system. That's where the antibodies come in. And antibodies are used for different reasons within the body. For example, an IgA antibody protects the mucous membranes. IgG protects the tissue, and IgE is like the gatekeeper. It brings on histamine. So your question was, what's the difference between food allergies and environmental allergies? So usually when somebody has a food allergy, it's an IgE histamine, right? Those are the life-threatening food allergies. But an IgG response could be to like an environmental response, That's what causes leaky gut. Is this answering your question?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if somebody has an IgG food sensitivity, it's more of a food sensitivity than it is an allergy. It causes all kinds of inflammatory cascades in the body, and it's usually digestive.
So, okay, so yeah, so that was my next question. So basically, food sensitivities and allergies are completely different mechanism, right? It's a different way of the body's reacting to things, no? It's a different.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if you have an IgE food allergy and you eat something that you're allergic to, your entire body is going to fight it. I mean, it really thinks it's a foreign invader, and it really thinks it's going to kill you. Yeah. So your body attacks it, and you have all kinds of responses. You know, there are 5 body systems, like the respiratory, the heart, the gastrointestinal, the skin. So you could get hives, you could feel nauseous, you could have trouble breathing. The real risk with anaphylaxis is that somebody stopped breathing. Those are the people who walk around with EpiPens.
Yes.
Whereas a food sensitivity is an IgG mediated response. And that's an inflammatory response, and it causes downstream effects within your body. And it actually it causes other issues within the body. Right.
So let's say let me ask you something now. Someone maybe is watching and saying, you know, how do I know that I'm sensitive to any kind of food? Like, what kind of symptoms people should look for to know if they're sensitive to a particular food? Like, how can they know? And how soon after you eat that food, those symptoms can appear?
Well, that's an interesting question, because if, let's say you have a sensitivity to dairy, mm-hmm. right? And you have a bowl of cereal with milk for breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And then at 10 o'clock, you have a snack. You have some, let's say you have some nuts. And then at 11 o'clock, you start feeling like your stomach doesn't feel well. It's very hard to tease out whether or not it was the milk from breakfast or the nuts from your snack, because your body has a transit time for it to digest and absorb the nutrients. I suggest that my clients get a food sensitivity test. There's a particular company called KBMO that I work with, and they test for what's triggering complement, which is the inflammatory cascade. The other thing you can do is an elimination diet. If you suspect that you may have a sensitivity to nuts, what you do is you take them out of your diet for 4 months, right? Because the body has the antibodies that are formed for that particular food has a half-life of 21 to 26 days, depending on the type of food. And so if you take a food out of your diet for 3 to 4 weeks, you're only getting rid of half of the antibodies. So every time you take something out of your diet for 4 weeks, like 21 to 26 days, then you get rid of half more of the antibodies. So it's half, a quarter, an eighth, a 16th, and then eventually your body forgets that it was ever sensitive to that food, it's very difficult, because it takes a while to get 100% elimination of a certain food out of the diet. And then after you eliminate the food, then you add the food back into your diet 3 times a day and see if your body reacts to it. It may be after 4 to 6 months of taking a food out of your diet and your body forgets that it was ever reactive to it and you feel fine. or it may be that you were never having symptoms from that particular food at all. And it's kind of a trial and error. So that's why I recommend a sensitivity test to test for the IgG foods.
Okay. So let's say if someone finds out that they are sensitive to, maybe they are intolerant to dairy, maybe you're sensitive, like I did my test a while ago and I had to eliminate everything. I was sensitive to garlic, eggs, a bunch of things, even some things I can't even remember, but I had to eliminate them for, like you say, for about 3.5 or 4 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was really difficult, but I had to do what I have to do. And finally, you know, the healing started happening. But the question is like that. A lot of people might say, you know, it's very difficult. I can't do that. And if they really leave this to go and they are not making those changes, what can happen to them? What is possible that, I mean, what is the possibility of them maybe their body forgetting, or it's just not going to happen if you're not going to eliminate it? And
Well,
they downstream.
Food sensitivities can create oxidative stress on the body, right? You can have oxidative stress from emotional or physical, and food sensitivities really create an oxidative damage in the body, and eventually they cause downstream diseases. Like you could, it's not coming to me right now, but if you're constantly eating something that you have a sensitivity to, and it's creating inflammation in the body, it could play havoc on your knee, right? It could cause inflammation in your knee, and then people get knee replacements, and then they feel better for a while because they have a new knee, but you're not really doing anything to resolve the root issue. What you're doing is you're solving what the problem caused.
Yeah.
So it could do anything in the body long term. It could create sinus issues. It just, inflammation could play havoc anywhere in the body and start any disease process.
Any disease, like autoimmune disease, cancer, anything, right? Pretty much.
Anything.
Yeah, anything. Okay. So what would be your advice, let's say, for people maybe who are struggling with seasonal allergies, what they can, because now is the time of the year that a lot of people are struggling. Even for me, I start feeling, you know, my nose a little bit more congested, and you know, I do all the natural things, but I always like to learn from somebody else, especially from you, because that's your passion, because that's what you do, you know. So I would like to hear, what is your opinion? Like, what would you suggest people doing naturally to improve their immune system so they can fight those allergies naturally without taking maybe, you know, a drug, or even if they are taking something, that they can also add it to their healing, to their treatment?
There are a number of do you mean supplements? You want to know some?
Maybe supplements, or foods, or whatever your you know, whatever you know that is helping people, that can help.
So I would say bone broth is the number one thing. I know this time of year we're getting into spring, and we're not eating as much soup. But I have an awesome bone broth recipe where you really boiling bones for 48 hours to get that collagen from the bones. But there are companies, and I have a product right here, Vital Proteins beef gelatin, has that collagen in it that really like heals the lining of your gut to make your gut, whatever, if you have leaky gut, it kind of like seals the gut. It heals the gut. Another product is GI Revive. This has L-glutamine in it, and L-glutamine is an amino acid. that a basic amino acid that also helps with the gut. This is a great product. It also has slippery elm, marshmallow root, not marshmallow like you toast on a stick. This is marshmallow root, chamomile, okra extract. Okra, that's another really good.
Slimy, very slimy.
Very slimy, but it's very good for your gut. And a lot of people don't eat it. I know there are a lot of Indian recipes that use spices with okra, but it's like that slimy consistency of the okra. You can eat it raw, you can eat it cooked, you can bake it, you can roast it. It's very healthy for your gut. And this also has quercetin in it. Quercetin is very good. It's a natural antihistamine. And it doesn't have the side effects of some of the other over-the-counter medications. So it's actually helpful for your gut, and it helps with the allergies. Another thing is a good high-quality B complex vitamin. High quality meaning that if it's methylated vitamin, so that it gets absorbed better into your body. Vitamin D3 and zinc are also very good supplements. And certain probiotics are very good. Lactobacillus rhamnosus is a good one. There's a brand called Metagenics Ultra Flora Intensive Care that has that particular, I don't have it right here to show you, but it has that particular combination in it. So those are some things you can do. With the collagen, I'm kind of jumping around here. It has a high glycine content, so it strengthens your gut lining. It reduces joint pain. It's good for your skin. All those kinds of things.
So okra is the same thing. Like for example, for your gut lining, like you say, you can eat it. You can make your soup, let's say, or you can saute with you know, some olive oil, avocado oil, and some garlic, and just eat it as a side dish, right? Or make it. There are plenty of recipes, and my daughter, she can't even look at it. So I have to literally cut in a tiny pieces, because for her, she says it's too slimy. But anything that's slimy actually helps you to heal that gut line, right?
Exactly. And when you talk about your daughter, I'll tell you what I do. I make like an egg fried rice for my daughter for lunch. I have like a thermos, and I make like rice the night before. They always say cook once, eat twice. So I take the leftover rice from the night before, and I take an egg and all kinds of vegetables. And one of the vegetables I use is okra. And I just cut it in little slices, and I put it in her egg fried rice, and I stick it in her lunchbox, and she eats it. So yeah, it doesn't have to be that you eat like, here's your side dish of okra, but you can include it in a stir fry. You can include it in a soup, or a crock pot dish, or whatever it is that you're doing. Yeah.
For me personally, I like it. I feel this, like when I eat it, I feel like this good feeling here, you know, goes through all my, like, you know, just to my stomach. I feel great. I love that. So but not everybody, so of course we have to find some creative ways to use it, right?
Well, the other thing I mentioned, quercetin. Quercetin comes from apples and onions. So, you know, trying to eat either root vegetables or foods that come from the ground or the trees. Just paying attention to your diet, paying attention. Not to say don't eat things that come from a box, don't eat things that come from a bag. A bag of Doritos is not healthy. I know people know that already. I try to crowd out by saying, eat more onions, eat more pears and apples, eat more okra. these are things that are going to keep you healthy. Onions, garlic, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, asparagus. All these things are going to be healthy for you to eat. Yeah, reducing your toxic load, like reducing the number of chemicals in the meats that you eat.
Yes.
Like making sure they're organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised. Reduce your toxic load so that you don't have so many chemicals in your body. And another issue is wheat. Wheat has been hybridized so much, and it has all of that Roundup in it. So pay attention to what you're eating, and watching these videos is great because you'll educate yourself on the best way to do it.
Yes, that's true. And so, yeah, like you say, gluten Roundup is not just the gluten, it's the Roundup. And Roundup is like probably in most of the boxed foods, right? The chips and can be anything comes in a box, anything that comes processed and doesn't come organic, that will have glyphosate, some levels of glyphosate. But if you get a small exposure here and there, you probably, your body can handle it because it was made to handle here and there, toxins, not glyphosate particularly, but toxins. But when we are bombarded from every corner every day, it's very difficult for body to actually work properly.
Yeah, we only have one immune system, and when our immune system gets overloaded, it doesn't work properly. So we constantly have to clean it out, and all of these toxins get stored in our adipose tissue, in our fat cells. And so that's why it's important to do cleanses occasionally to clean out whatever is stored in those fat cells, and that's causing that heaviness. And that, I'm not talking heaviness in terms of fat, but if these toxins are stored in the fat cells and they don't want to come out, you kind of have to force them out. And doing a cleanse is really helpful to your health.
That's what we're doing now. We're doing 5-day cleanse. So that's what this video was meant to be shared with my participants.
Awesome. I know we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, and I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do want to tell people how to get in touch with me. So my website is hollibassin.com, and Holli is spelled with an I, so it's HOLLI, B as in boy, ASSIN.com. And then you can look me up on Amazon. I'm all over the place. So if there's any issues or any questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. And Jurgita, I'm happy to do another video with you anytime you'd like, because this is such a great experience.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Holli. Really appreciate your time. I know how busy you are, and you are leaving going on vacation. So I really do appreciate that you coming here, talk to us about this, very, very hot topic, allergies and food sensitivities that so many of us are struggling these days. So I really thank you, and we will talk soon.
Awesome. Have a great day, and good luck with your cleanse.
Thank you,
Feel
Holli.
better.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, Holli.
Bye.